Hi everyone. This week's portion is the portion of Tisa. And in this week's portion it talks about the golden calf. And the story is that while Moses was up on Mount Sinai getting the details of the Torah from the Creator, who actually was carving the tablets of the 10 commandments, the 10 utterances, however you want to call them, some impatient people at the foot of the mountain decided that they wanted to build a golden calf. Of course, Moses didn't know this while he was up on the mountain, and there's a commentary that tells us the following. As the Jews were standing below and carving the golden calf, God was sitting above and carving out the tablets of the law in order to give the Jews life. What does this mean? Because in the end, these tablets were broken by Moses. So what exactly are we talking about? Why did the Creator take the trouble of carving them himself when obviously it's the Creator? He knew that in the end, Moses was going to break them anyway. And why does it say that God was sitting while the Jews were standing? It says God was sitting and carving the commandments, the tablets, and the Jews were standing building the golden calf. And so what was the point of Moses getting the tablets out of the Creator's hands if he broke them anyway? And so Shem MiShmuel gives a very fascinating explanation about this. He says that standing is something that we do temporary. We don't stand all the time. But when we're sitting, it's a fixed position. It's a permanent, like we're going to sit for a while. When we're standing, it's in the meantime. When we want to do one thing and then move on to another, we stand. When we want to concentrate and focus on one thing, we sit. And so therefore, the Jews were standing while making the golden calf. It was a temporary mode. God, however, was in a permanent and fixed mode of providing for them as he carved out the tablets. What does that mean? When the Jews committed the negativity of worshiping the golden calf, it was a mistake. It was a temporary loss of judgment, if you want to say. But when God carved out the tablets, it was a permanent and ongoing thing where the Creator would always take care of us, and that's why he was sitting. And the Midrash, the explanation goes on to say, however, we must still understand what was the point of carving and giving the tablets if in the end they were only to be broken? So this is the explanation, and it's a very, very beautiful explanation. It's talking about the inner versus the outer, the internal versus the external. On the external level, the Jews looked like they had done some great negativity and they had sinned. But since their negativity was only a temporary loss of judgment, a mistake, you can say, they were considered to still have that profound connection and spirituality and unity with the Creator. The same is true of the tablets, because on a superficial level, they were carved out of stone. But on a very deeper, profound level, they really consisted of spiritual letters, the letters of the Torah. And so when the tablets were broken, it was only the stone that was shattered. But the letters, which were from the Creator and their godly revelations, they went into the spiritual realm. They didn't disappear, they didn't evaporate, they weren't broken. So the same way that our soul leaves the body, the letters left the stone, but they never really disappeared. And since Moses took the tablets from the Creator, which is the soul of the Torah, the letters remained in our possession. So the first set of tablets was the work of the Creator. The Creator actually carved them himself. But once they were shattered and they fell from the hands of Moses, the letters had no way of expressing themselves. It's like a soul without a body. So they were, so to speak, hanging in the air. And it was only Moses, acting through the Creator's direction, who carved out the second set of tablets, that the letters again took a form of expression. And that expression is the Torah that we have today. So it was as if the tablets were clothing that were supposed to be put for the letters, and they were removed depending on the situation. So if we can understand this, we can understand that God was involved in carving the tablets even while the Jews were building the golden calf. Because once they received the soul of the Torah, once they received those letters, it was theirs no matter what. It didn't mean that it had to have a form of a body, a form of the stone to have it be theirs or to express it. So whether physical or spiritual, oral or written, the soul of the Torah was in the hands of the Jews. It was in our hands. And even when the tablets were shattered, the spirit remained in the letters. And this is what the Creator gave to us, and in order to uplift us from that negativity of the golden calf. I wanted to share that with you. It was very, very important. Now, right after the golden calf, the Creator wanted to destroy the nation, except for the descendants of Moses. And so what happens here? The Creator says to Moses, I have seen these people, and behold, it is as a stiff-necked people. Now therefore let me alone, so that my anger may burn hot against them, and so that I may consume them, and I will make of you a great nation. And what does Moses do? Moses refuses to accept the decree. And over he pleads with the Creator. He asks in the name of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and he ends with, this people have sinned a great sin and have made gods of gold. Yet now, if you will forgive them for their sin, and if not, erase me. I beg you, erase me from your book, which you have written, the Torah. And the sages tells us that among the Jews, among the Israelites, were Egyptian converts who left Egypt with the Jews. And they were called the mixed multitude. These people were not really spiritual. They just kind of hung on to the Jews when they left Egypt because they saw how wealthy they had left, how they had left with being so wealthy, the miracles that the Creator had done with them, and they figured, you know what? It's a good life. But Moses didn't blame them. He begged for forgiveness, and it didn't matter if it was them or if it was all the Jews, if it was all the people, he begged forgiveness for everyone. And therefore, that is what made him a leader beyond anybody. He didn't say, it's their fault. Forgive the Jews, don't forgive them. He didn't say, he took it and said, forgive everybody. That's what made him a good leader. And so it was Moses who first took upon himself the responsibility for every single person, Jew or not Jew. And he was willing to sacrifice himself for this cause. And we learn from Moses that we must consider everyone, regardless of their faults, as part of one, as part of unity. We have to have love for each other and unconditional love, if for no other reason than our souls that are connected to each other. And for that same reason, we are all responsible for one another. The same as the letters, the Hebrew letters that rose out of the tablets. We all have a responsibility to educate every single one of us and to remember to always stay in unity. Now, like we spoke about the golden calf, there's another thing here that's talked about is when Israel stood at Mount Sinai, the pollution arising from the snake, which introduced the evil inclination to the world, left them. For the evil inclination was eliminated from the world, being pushed aside from them. Following this, there's something else that describes the scene when Moshe arrived in heaven to receive the Torah. It says, when Moses went on high, the ministering angels said before God, Master of the world, why is there a man among us? He said to them, he has come to receive the Torah. They said before him, the beautiful hidden thing that was secreted for 974 generations before the creation of the world. Do you want to give this to flesh and blood? This Torah, which you are given to me, does not say in it, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt. Did you, the angels, go down to Egypt? Were you enslaved to Pharaoh? What do you need the Torah for? Are you people who might serve idols? Do you work so that you must rest on Shabbat? Do you have parents? Are you jealous? Is there an evil inclination among you? Immediately, God agreed with Moses. What does this mean? What is this all about? You know, it's very interesting that while the angels didn't have an evil inclination, obviously the people of Israel did. And the whole conversation is between the angels and the Creator, and the angels are saying, why are you going to give the Torah to these people? And God is telling them, angels, you need it? What do you need it for? And this whole thing is really to understand that the spiritual system of the Torah and the giving of the Torah on Mount Sinai was to help us fight our negativity, was to help us connect to a spiritual system that can keep us in check, that can help us understand beyond, there are precepts that make sense, and there are precepts that don't make sense. What are the precepts that make sense? Obviously, you shouldn't kill. I mean, that makes sense, right? We're not going to go around killing just because we wouldn't kill even if the Torah said not to kill, is what I'm saying. So these things are beyond the making sense. These things are not about manners, not about doing the right thing. It's a spiritual system that if we can connect to it, we can get rid of our negativities, we can get rid of our evil inclination. And the first thing that we need to do is to understand that we are responsible for each other. That no matter what problems we have, that no matter what's going on, we are responsible for each other. And the most famous thing that happened in this whole story is when Moses returns after 40 days on Mount Sinai, he sees the golden calf, and he sees his brother. And Moses says to his brother, what's going on? I mean, Moses didn't suspect that he had betrayed the Creator. But he couldn't believe that his brother was implicated in this crime. And Aaron, you have to understand, Aaron was about kindness and mercy. Aaron didn't have one bone in his body that didn't believe in the Creator. But what happened? Aaron says, don't be angry. You know the people, for they follow a wicked path. They said to me, make for us powers, which will go before us. As for this man Moshe, who brought us from Egypt, we don't know what happened, what has become of him. And I said to them, whoever has gold, rip it off and give it to me. Then I cast it into the fire, and a calf emerged. I didn't know this calf would emerge. Aaron didn't realize the power he had. What did he want to do? We need to look at this whole thing very closely. And the thing is this, that the most important thing that Moses did in his whole lifestyle was to be able to keep the people unified and in check without any individual agendas, really as one whole. What happened after Moses left? It was 40 days, 40 nights had passed. There was about 6 hours left. The people started becoming restless. And Aaron, who was the ideal person to be able to affect a change, what happened? They went before him and they said, he's not coming back. We need something instead of him. But what went wrong? See, we understand that Aaron didn't realize what was going to come out of this. And when the calf emerged, he was horrified because Aaron, that wasn't his point. His point was, what was Aaron's plan? His plan was to keep them so busy with getting gold and to give them something to unify about, because everyone was pulling in their own directions. Everyone wanted something for themselves. Everyone had their own agenda now. What was Aaron trying to do? Aaron was trying to bring back the unity to the people. So he said to them, you know what? Go, all of you, collect the gold, bring it to me. And he thought, in the meantime, that he would keep them busy with something. But what was Aaron's mistake? There was only one mistake that Aaron made. He took the gold directly from the hands of troublemakers. What does that mean? He knew that not all the people of Israel, not all the Jews had doubts or had negative intentions. But there were troublemakers around them. They're called the Erev Rav. They were the mixed multitude. These were people who were Egyptians who converted to Judaism. And again, like I said before, they latched on. They weren't true. They didn't truly convert. They didn't convert up here. They only wanted to benefit. They wanted to reap the benefits of the Jewish people. And what did they do? They were troublemakers. They were opportunists. They had their own agendas. They didn't care about unity. They didn't care about the Creator. And they were so evil and so negative that when they brought the gold, they actually handed it to Aaron and infused their negativity and their wickedness into this object that became the golden calf. And that was the only mistake Aaron made. I mean, you have to understand, Aaron was a high priest. He was just mercy, just kindness, just caring about people. But the negativity that these people had and the troublemaking and the opportunists that they had, it was just injected into the gold. And that's how the golden calf came out. And what can we learn from this? It is so important to pick who your surroundings are, who your people are, who your friends are. It's so important to know that anybody can be affected. There's no way that we can be in an area with people surrounding us who are negative and not affect us negatively at some point. We need to choose, that's probably the only thing that we actually have a choice. We can choose who we surround ourselves with. We can choose where we live. We can choose the kind of people we want in our life. And the more positivity, the better. The more you surround yourself with people who are spiritual, truly spiritual, not people who meditate on a mountain by themselves and call themselves spiritual. People who are spiritual are people who care about each other. People who care that their friend will make it, that their friend will even have more money than they do. Those are the people that we need to choose. We need to choose people who are better than us, higher than us, so that we can inspire ourselves to be better. That's what I'd like to leave for you this week. Thank you.